employees for the corporate growth in the country. What is the take?
Okay, any volunteers to answer this question? Is 90-hour a week work a good way of looking ahead? Is that good for the country? For volunteers, you have to raise your hand physically. For asking questions, that's the electronic hand. So we have Umesh volunteering. Yes, Umesh, unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Umesh.
Sir, regarding the 90-hour work debate, sir, internationally we have very few examples of such long working hours, apart from the industrial era, sir. Sir, what we need more is R&D, sir, research and development. And I think for people to think critically, their routine work should be a bit less, and weekend and free time should be more, so that they can think critically and develop some new ideas, sir. That will boost our economy more rather than just working slogging for hours altogether, sir.
Yes, any other volunteer here? Any physical hand? I have. Okay, we have Anushka here. Anushka, yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. So the issue of working hours has been long debated since India has entered the era of demographic dividend, which the managers and the corporates feel that they need to harness as such. So in this, we have two things that we can bring into notice. First is obviously that the productivity issue, that people should work more and be more productive towards the firm. The second issue is obviously the work life balance that is being talked about. However, we need to see that there is a balance, since the capitalist system is very work intensive already, there's need to bring a balance, balance between the work and the life as such, so that the mental health of the people should also be there and they could be more productive. The issue of women should also be looked here, because they have to manage both home and the work as such, and men also have to do both the things. So these things should be critically analyzed rather than per se fixed hours of timing, rather than it could be flexible according to the work designated to person. Thank you.
Okay, I have. Yes, this is Vidit Singh.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead. Good evening.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to add a few points, only a couple of them. I think that we need to understand from which point this debate is coming from, like the whole debate of working more number of hours, be it 70 or 90 hours a week. I think it is coming from the point where the whole work culture moved to working from home, and there the productivity dropped significantly, especially in the IT sector, where people were not really working but showing off that they were working. So this was my first point. Second, what we can do is we can take inspiration from the OSH code that was part of the labor codes that government brought out, but they have not yet been implemented. So in that, there is some provision regarding consent and incentive. So I think that consent should be taken when employees are working overtime. They should give their consent, and also at the same time, lucrative incentives should be provided to them, something like twice the amount of salary which they get paid for regular hours. So if this kind of system is put in place, I think this will be a balanced thing, and it will not only incentivize them but also like motivate them to work further.
Okay, any other volunteer? We just take one more answer. People who haven't spoken before. So let's go to Amrish Yadav. I may not take all the hands that I'm raising. The reason is very simple. After 3, 4, we will try and see what is the best possible answer. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please go ahead.
Sir, in my opinion, this debate of 90 hours per week is based on the principle of quantity of work. However, we should focus on the quality as well as the quantity of the work, along with the work-life balance. On the front of quantity, we can employ more people, because we have a large pool of people who are unemployed in our country. So we can skill them and increase the quantity as per, and the quality we can work on the higher skills. So in my opinion, the quantity can be increased by employing more people. And along with that, we should also focus on the work-life balance.
Okay, now I have had 4 answers now, and we can have more answers. I'm giving you an option, a fifth option. All were fine answers. Fifth option is, how about starting by mentioning this? Sir, we have to look at the objective behind this 90 words. Because ultimately, anything that you do has an objective, no? So if the objective is to improve the output, can that output be increased merely by increasing hours? So in that, we have to bring about a balance between the productivity of an individual and the balance that he has to have that productivity. I can't say for sure, but in my limited understanding, if a person stays in the office for so long, the chances are that his productivity will come down. Please mark the language that I'm using. All the 4 answers that were given were very definitive, using the word should so often as if you have already come to conclusion that this should be done. I have been repeatedly telling in my conversations with you that at your stage in life, you still have to come to conclusions. So don't appear to be coming to conclusion, yet confident about what you're saying. Is that understood by all of you? Can I see some nods of head? So that is one. I keep repeating in every interaction with you all that whereas you should be sure about what you're saying, but you can't be conclusive about what you're saying. Hence, the term should be used as less as possible. In one answer, there were about 5 shoulds, as if that's the only way forward. I don't think at your stage you should convey this impression. You should be clear-headed, you should be confident, but you can't be saying that this is the only way forward. That is the message some of you give. Are you getting what I am trying to tell you? This is important for you, all of you, to practice in your group discussions. That's where you got to practice. We are all used to speaking out in a manner that only I have the final answer. That is one. This second is, which I think Anoshka mentioned, I keep forgetting. If you bring in other organizations, other agencies, other concepts, be prepared for a question on those concepts. So, I have no problem with that. I did that in my interview during the second year. I used to consciously bring in some concepts which I knew that the board will pick up and ask me questions. If you're doing it consciously, fair enough. Otherwise, try and avoid concepts and agencies and institutions about which you're not aware and you're just mentioning it there. Sure enough, they're going to pick it up. Am I clear on this? So what I'm trying to tell you during these interactions is not the content of the answer. By and large, your contents are fine. It is a question of how do you answer the question. In each interaction with you, I'm trying to focus on this aspect of how. What is by and large would be fine, because you are certainly, each one of you is much more informed than I am today. But sometimes I find the manner of presentation is not the best that you can for getting the best marks. Is that fine? Any question on what I have said just now? Please feel free. Let's have a conversation here. If you have a question still left, please raise your hand and we will discuss that. Anybody? Okay. Ankit, what's your question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my question was regarding, as you just mentioned, ki we have to limit the use of agencies or any organization in an answer. So in this particular question, can we take the route of WHO and citing the health outcomes of increasing the number of works?
Please try and understand me clearly. I am not against your using WHO or any institution. But you should be aware that the moment you use WHO or anything, the next question would be on WHO. So you can't get away by only mentioning an agency's name. The chances are that the board member will pick up WHO. And then the whole questions could go on WHO. What are the provisions of WHO? How is WHO concerned? Shouldn't ILO be more concerned than WHO in terms of, I'm coming up with questions randomly just now. So please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying don't use these names. But when you do, be prepared for a follow-up question on that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Ankit, right. Jatin, you have a question. Jatin Lahoria.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Jatin.
Sir, if the question is asked that they want to have your take on yourself, like we want a yes or no, in that kind of questions which are
When
very,
you, in that
very.
question also, you can't
Yes,
say
sir.
this should be done.
Okay, sir.
You can still say, sir, this appears to be the best way forward.
Okay, sir.
There is a reason why I'm telling that. Again, going by personal experience and experience of people like you can't appear to be absolutely categorical in what you're saying. But there is a definitiveness, there is a clarity in your thought that this appears. Why do you say this appears? Because all your conclusions are presently based on the knowledge that you have at that point in time. When you say this should be done, meaning thereby irrespective of change in circumstances, that's the only way forward. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jatin, you get this point?
Yes, sir. So, but still, if they try to get an answer that okay, no, we want your answer in a yes or no. In
So
that
say
case,
that,
if they
sir,
force us to,
given the set of circumstances, I think the answer would be yes. If they're pushing you to it, then you do it. But don't start, all the answers that came here. I mean, in one case, I don't remember the name. This should be done, this should be done, this should be done, this should be done. Probably that should be done. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. But what I'm saying is, you should appear without being unsure. You should not be inflexible. You understand the subtle difference that I'm trying to convey. I mean, I spoke the answer before you. You would get that impression that I'm saying what you're saying, but I'm still open for a discussion. I'm not trying to close it by saying this should be done. Is that right?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so we go to the next question. Can we have hands for the next question? Okay, we have Swastik Makhija.
So, good evening, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible, Swastik. Please go ahead.
Sir, in our answers, can we provide such suggestions? For example, we should have a maximum cap over the hours, or we should have compulsory counseling for workers who are doing work more than certain number of hours. Can we provide such suggestions?
Okay, irrespective of the nature of the question,
Yes, sir.
don't give suggestion unless asked for.
Okay, sir.
If they ask you, give suggestions. It will depend on the nature of the question. The question that was raised earlier did not seek suggestion. They asked you whether it should be done or not. They didn't ask you what should be done. No suggestion. I mean, not only here in interview, this is a life lesson for all of you. Don't give suggestion to anybody in life until he or she asks you. आप राय साहब मत बनिए. इतने राय साहब हैं दुनिया में. Don't become a राय साहब. Not only in this interview, I'm telling you, as a matter of principle in life, it will leave you happy. Don't provide suggestion unless you are asked for a suggestion. So it applies to the board. Is that okay?
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
We then go to Umesh. You have a question as well? Go ahead, ask your question, Umesh.
Sir, I want to ask, sir, like many times we are asked such questions like, do you think India will be a developed economy by 2047?
Okay,
Or
let's
sir,
take this question.
sir,
Let's
or
take-
will
we
your
will
state
come to the
achieve?
second one. No, let's take. I'm requesting or suggesting to all of you, ask the silliest, ask the most complicated, ask the most sensitive question. Because the idea of discussion here is not to answer a question. The answer, how to approach answering that question, that's very critical. You will probably never be asked this question which we are discussing here. But if you develop how to answer that question, you will be able to answer any question. So let's take this question. Do you think India will be developed by 2047? Is that okay, Umesh? Can you nod your head if it's okay? Right. Who will answer this question? I have a hand from Shrey. Shrey has been very active, so I won't take him. Okay, I will take Mahipal. I'm sorry, I'm not taking others because I want to give everyone a chance here.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mahipal. Please go ahead and answer this question.
Sir, in this case, I would like to answer as follows. Firstly, sir, regarding the case of India being developed by 2047, this is a very ambitious target. And if we work on all the multidimensional issues which we are currently planning to do, so like economic development, the development of our human capital, even if not by 2047, we will surely become a developed nation in the like before or after that sometime.
Okay, no, I'll come to you. Next would be Mridul. I'll come to you, but hold on for a while. Let me respond to what. Let's have these discussions, because I want to respond to his answer in a manner that each one of you should understand that what you should do, what you should not do. First thing, they never asked you whether it will be beyond 2047. The question was not there. And you are answering a question that was not asked. They asked you whether it would be 2047. So why are you answering it will be beyond it? You answer whether it will be not. I will come to the answer itself later on when others have answered. I have stopped here. Am I commenting on it? Please don't answer something which is not asked. Listen to the question very carefully. Limit yourself to the question that has been asked. If they ask you something else, then you answer that question. Don't, and that again will practice in group discussions. Why do I insist on group discussions? Because when the discussion is happening, there are 3 others or 4 others who are watching you. And in fact, you all should then discuss after the discussion on the subject that where did we go off the track. It's very important for you all to get into the habit of being very focused about what is being asked. Right? Okay, Mridul, your answer to it.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Sir, am I
evening.
audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Recently, our Prime Minister has given us the goal in the form of Punch Front, in which we have given the goal of be developed India by the year 2047. This goal seems very ambitious and also very hard. But the recent steps which our government is taking and also various agencies have developed the plans to develop India by the year 2047, and various agencies also developing their sector-wise planning. And we can see that we have taken some of the steps like the increasing the capital expenditure and also making our cities smart and also equipping our new age sectors and also developing the new age startups and new technologies. We seems to be heading towards the developed India, and it is a matter of fact that we are growing at a good pace. So if we keep on this growth path, then we can achieve our goal in a better manner, and it seems to be in future that we will be achieving it.
Very good answer, Mridul. I think you structured it very well, except the first sentence you could restructure. When you say is very ambitious, I would use the word it may appear to be ambitious. Because what you say later on, it is not saying it is ambitious. You're saying it is possible. It contradicts your first statement saying that it is ambitious. If you use the word it may appear to be ambitious, then whatever you are talking follows from that. Have you got this point?
Yes, sir. So
Have
we can
others
say
found this point?
yes, sir.
I mean, if some nods from, say, Amrish or Rajat, or sorry, not Rajat, Amrish and Umesh, let's have a conversation. I'm telling you something. If you understand it, a nod from you will help. Why am I telling you this? I mean, this is a very good answer that you gave. But the first line became a bit inconsistent with what you spoke later on, because first you call it almost totally ambitious, and then you say it's happening. So this is something which you have to practice in your conversations, in your group discussions, even otherwise. Keep practicing it. And it comes.
Sir, I want to
sorry.
Sir, I want to ask this should part that in Hindi when we say हमें ये काम इस तरीके से करना चाहिए या फिर हम कहते हैं कि हम इस काम को ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं, तो कैन बी और शुड बी का अंतर यही है ना? शुड बी का मतलब हम डेफिनेट हो गए।
आप हिंदी में दे रहे हैं, इंग्लिश में दे रहे हैं?
इंग्लिश में ही दे रहे हैं, मतलब
अच्छा,
वर्ड
देखिए
का डिफरेंस
हिंदी आप छोड़ दीजिए, बिकॉज हिंदी कैसे ट्रांसलेशन से शब्द में फर्क हो जाता है। हर भाषा का आप ट्रांसलेट करके वो मंतव्य नहीं निकाल सकते।
No, sir, I was asking the word should be done or can be done.
No, मैं बिल्कुल स्पष्ट बता रहा हूं जो आपने शुरू में कहा। You just rephrase it in this manner. Sir, this may appear to be very ambitious, But these signals that we are seeing now, it appears possible that we can become. ठीक है ना? और आपने क्या बताया? सिग्नल्स ही बताया ना?
हाँ.
आपने पॉजिटिव सिग्नल्स बताए, आपने 4-5 बताए जो मुझे पूरे नहीं पता है, आपने बता दिए, बड़ा अच्छा किया. तो फिर वो कहेंगे नो नो नो, बट इफ वी ग्रो एट 8% वी विल नॉट बिकम डेवलप्ड एंड ऑल. सर, ओनली टाइम विल टेल. बट इफ वी कीप डेवलपिंग इन दिस मैनर, द चांसेस आर दैट वी विल बिकम डेवलप्ड. अब इससे तो कोई झगड़ा नहीं करेगा. अगर आप ये कहिएगा नो वी विल बिकम, तो उससे झगड़ा करने लगेगा. ठीक है ना?
Sir,
आपको झगड़ा तो
my
करना
doubt
नहीं है.
is,
या
then we were discussing about we should not use the word should be done. It
या
should be done. So
या
I was asking that in Hindi, when we say this,
हाँ
this, then we can say that this can be done.
हाँ.
Because I was asking the difference between this.
नो, कैन नहीं होगा. नो नो नो. सी, डिपेंड्स ऑन द क्वेश्चन एंड डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉन्वर्सेशन. जो आपने कहा इसमें तो कहीं शुड आ ही नहीं रहा है. शुड तो तब आता है जब एडवाइस देते हैं आप,
Yes,
क्या करना
deliberately
चाहिए
avoided
देते हैं,
it. हाँ.
है ना? आप शुड कब इस्तेमाल करते हैं? कि ऐसा होना चाहिए. अगर कोई आपसे
Definitely.
एडवाइस पूछेगा, सजेशन पूछेगा, तब आप शुड कहेंगे, या अपनी तरफ से एडवाइस देंगे तभी शुड कहेंगे. आप तो कहीं नहीं रहे. आप तो ये कह रहे हैं दिस इज ऑलरेडी बीन डन. आप कह रहे हैं whatever is being done in terms of smart cities, in terms of this, that, and everything that you mentioned, the chances are that you'll become developed. We are apparently moving in the right direction. There could be other things that also need to be done. You can leave that, because उससे फिर next question वो पूछ लेगा तुरंत, what are the other things? वो बता दीजिए आप other चीज क्या क्या करनी है. See, giving an interview is an art. Actually, you can develop that. जिनके पास 1-1.5 महीना है, आप लोगों में से क्या है कि आप लोग, कई लोग 10 जगह बात कर रहे हैं. I know some of you running from one mock interview to the other mock interview, literally realizing it is not helping you. आपको तो what you should do is to practice speaking in the manner that I am telling you. वो mock interview थोड़ी ना बताएगा आपको. You are rushing. कोई साहब जो है वो लाइब्रेरी में बैठ के पढ़ रहे हैं. अरे भाई, बहुत है यहाँ ज्ञान. अब तो आपको बोलने का तरीका समझना चाहिए. तभी if you have listened to me correctly, I am asking all of you to speak as much as you can and record it. Recording से क्या होगा? जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं आप खुद समझ जाएंगे. मुझे आपको बार बार बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. और फिर आप चेंज करेंगे, फिर बात करेंगे. और मेरा तो आपसे सजेशन ये है कि जो आपका ग्रुप है उसमें एक बार क्यों, आप 4 बार मिलिए दिन में. कौन रोकता है आपको? But you must speak, speak and speak. Don't waste your time running from one mock interview to another mock interview. Some of you, अरे सर लेट हो गया मैं mock interview, अरे सर मैं लाइब्रेरी में बैठा था. अरे आप क्या कर रहे हो भाई? Where and how are you spending your time is very critical. It is not so much reading now. It is not so much attending mock interviews. It is more to do with what you are speaking, how you are speaking. Speak as much as you can. And here is a fantastic group sitting here. Everyone would want that. तो आपको चलो यार, एक तो फॉर्मल हो गया. आज हम लोग इनफॉर्मल जैसे सर करते हैं सेंसिटिव क्वेश्चन. हम 4 लोग एक दूसरे सेंसिटिव क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, जवाब दो भाई. यू गेट इनटू. आज की तारीख में तो इतना वर्चुअल मीडियम अवेलेबल है, लेकिन आप लाइब्रेरी में बैठेंगे और आप भागेंगे एक मॉक इंटरव्यू में टाई और सूट लगा के. मालूम नहीं क्यों आते मेरे पास, जब वन ऑन वन डिस्कशन के लिए इतना टाइम आप सूट और टाई पहनने में लगाते हैं. क्यों लगाते हैं भाई? वो तो आप पहन ही लेंगे उस दिन जो पहनना है. See, you get all of you get your priorities straight. You'll do well in your interview. I'm telling you. बट प्रायोरिटी नहीं है. वो प्रायोरिटी क्या है कि एक मॉक, सर मैं 4 मॉक दे चुका हूं, अब मैं सोच रहा हूं 6 और दे डालूं. अरे भाई क्या, why are you mocking yourself with so many mock interviews? You know, 1-2 ठीक है समझने के लिए कि कमी क्या है आप में. उसके बाद तो आपको करना है. मॉक में क्या करेंगे आप? Speak as much as you can amongst yourself. I'm repeating it. No one sitting in the mock has more knowledge than people who are here. That is why I'm not commenting on the substance of what you're saying. I'm saying how you should deliver. Right? Okay. Next question. Om, please unmute yourself. We'll come to you, Rahul, later on.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Om.
Am I audible?
You are audible. Please ask your question.
Sir, I had one question regarding the stray dog problem in urban areas because the case related to fight and bite cases has been increasing. What should be the measure one can suggest?
Okay. So, what is your question? Frame your question and I'll seek an answer from you.
The question is, what are the reason for stray dog problem in urban areas, and what should be the solution to address this problem?
Okay. Any volunteers to answer this question? Physical hand. Okay. SSS. Since your name is not here, I'll call you. I hope you're not Shu Stafel. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good
I am
evening.
Sumit Surwade.
Okay.
Sir, the issue of stray dogs is related to two primary aspects. Is first one is the waste management, particularly the food waste management in urban areas, where these dogs they feed on urban waste and their population increases due to availability of food. And second one is the abandonment of pet dogs by the individuals who seems to be unable to maintain them. So these problem of stray dogs, it is majorly linked to these two problems, and the possible solution in this direction could be the pet shelters, then readoption by the interested individuals, and sterilization.
See, I love the approach of Lancer. Now, listen to this very carefully. I'm not going
Yes,
to
sir.
the substance because probably there could be other reasons why stray dogs are there. He
Yes, sir.
probably didn't attach all those. I'm not commenting on that. But I like the manner in which he answered his question. Do you all agree with this? So look at this structuring. What he did was he listed out 1, 2, 3. These are the problems. And then he said 1, 2, 3 solutions. The clarity of what he says, one may disagree. One may say that there are other problems also. Probably the next question would be, do you think the primary issue is on account of food and pet goers leaving their pet dogs? Isn't there any other reason? This could be a supplementary question because there are certainly more reasons that as far as the substance part is concerned. But on a structuring part, I will give him 9 on 10. The way he presented his question. So friends, I am more concerned about the structuring part for which he did very well. Anyone else willing to answer this question? Physical hand. Anybody else? Okay. Yogesh. So Yugansh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I want to say this that the problem of stray dog is that they get rogue. Sir, the reason could be people are feeding them irregularly. So that is one reason that they get rogue. And sir, solution is as SSS suggested, it is neutering and also pet shelters.
Yogansh, my only suggestion to you is I don't know whether you're reading the editorial article aloud every morning. If you aren't, do that. If you are speaking it out in your own words, if you aren't, do that. Record both of them. Do that regularly. My apprehension is that you aren't doing it because otherwise you would have been more fluent than what you are right now. I keep saying this because I keep getting feedback from people like you who tell me, sir, I benefited enormously. Then I tell them, please tell others, but others may listen, may not listen. That's your choice. So do that. Fluency is very essential because otherwise you will feel that you have the ideas in your mind, but you don't have the words to express them. And it happens through practice, practice, and practice, not mock interviews, not libraries, not reading books. I keep repeating that to impress upon all of you that this will benefit you not only in this interview, but in your life as such. Do that, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Rahul, what's your question?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Rahul.
Sir, there is this one question that which I got consistently in interview. Who is our strategic partner? So can we say that our strategic partner is our own national interest? Is this answer right?
Okay, any answers to this? Yes, I see a physical hand in Kishan Gupta. And thereafter Anushka. First Kishan and then Anushka. Kishan.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, to find our strategic partner, sir, we should look into that, sir. What are our strategic interest in this regard, sir? Our strategic interest can be energy, it can be security, it can be critical minerals, it can be maritime domain awareness. So in this regard, sir, our partnership varies from nation to nation. If it comes to energy, then sir, entire Gulf Middle East is our strategic partner. If it comes to security operators, sir, then Russia, United States, Israel can be our strategic partner. If it comes to critical minerals, sir, then countries like Australia or Latin American countries like Argentina, Chile, or even Central Asia can be our strategic partner. So in all, sir, our strategic partnership depends on our national interests, and whichever partnership fulfills our national interest is our strategic partnership, sir.
Excellent, Kishan. 9 out of 10 to your answer. Very well said. पहला सेंटेंस आप थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट कर सकते हैं, तो फिर 10 on 10 हो जाएगा। पहले सेंटेंस में आप कह सकते हैं, सर आई वंडर वेदर देयर कैन बी जस्ट वन स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर। आप बात वही कह रहे हैं बाद में। आपने क्या किया, शुरू में ओपनिंग सेंटेंस दे दिया, उससे ही आपका काफी समझ गया। उसके बाद रेस्ट इज यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग व्हाट यू सेड, बिकॉज द क्वेश्चन इज वेदर देयर कैन बी वन स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर। Certainly, national interest cannot be a partner. National interest can be the purpose, the cause, the reason, but it can't be a strategic partner. Yes, Anushka.
Sir, India has been a long proponent of non-alignment movement in its diplomatic history as such. So when it comes to talking about strategic partner, India has always located its interest and balancing various allies at different point of time according to its needs. We have seen that in the issue of security as such, we have tried to balance Russia and US. In the Israel-Palestine also, we are trying to balance and be between our strategic interest in with Israel as well as Palestine. So we see that at different arenas we have different type of interest which we serve, and we are trying to take the best out of it. And also with our own ideology of Vasudev Kutumbakam, we are trying to even be the mediator and the balancer among the global arena.
अनुष्का, वेरी गुड आंसर। बट दो चीजें आपने इसमें से कह दी जिसको हमारी तरफ इलाहाबाद में कहते हैं बंदर के हाथ में अस्त्र थमाना। ठीक है ना? आप तैयार हैं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। आपने शुरू में नॉन अलाइनमेंट क्यों लिया यहाँ पर नविष्ट?
तो सर जब स्ट्रैटेजिक इंटरेस्ट की बात
हो, नॉट सी you should be prepared then for non-alignment questions on non-alignment.
I am a political science
And then you should be prepared for questions on Vasudev Kutumbakam. ये दोनों जरूरत ही नहीं है. They are not totally directly related to the question that has been asked. I mean, I'm just comparing your answer with the one that was given.
हाँ सर, वो उन्होंने काफी पॉइंट्स बोल दिए थे,
तो आप कह दीजिए वो पॉइंट्स ठीक हैं। तो आप एक और चीज, sometimes a issue would have been discussed earlier. Okay, they may ask you again. So you don't have to unnecessarily come up with new points.
Yes, sir.
मैं सिर्फ आपसे कह रहा हूँ कि I'm trying to see that instead of 80% you get 90%. The answer was very good.
Yes,
I'm just bridging the difference. If you are comfortable with answering questions on non-alignment, please go ahead. That is not totally disconnected, but Vasudev Kutumbakam certainly is, because that's a different philosophy, has nothing to do with our strategic interest.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes it comes naturally, so don't worry about it. What I'm saying is, as you practice more and more, you will be able to avoid using this until you want to consciously use it. I mean, if you're consciously using it, मुझे कभी कभी लगता है कि आप लोग जब बोलते हैं तो एक आध कोई चीज अनकॉन्शियसली आ जाता है शब्द बीच में, बड़ा सा कोई, वो बड़ा सा आ जाता है, उसे पकड़ लेंगे, उसे बड़े स्मार्ट लोग होते हैं। ठीक है, बट बोथ आंसर्स वर वेरी गुड, सो you are moving in the right direction. What I liked about both answers was, first, you are very articulate. Second, the structuring was very good. This is something which each one of you has to practice. And if you practice, each one of you will benefit from it, right? Okay, we go on to the next question now. See, I'm skipping other answers. There could be other volunteers because I think the answer has been found. I think in this question, the approach has been correct. Once these two things happen, I move on to the next question. I hope it's fine with all of you, right?
Sir?
Yes, Ram.
Sir, I have a related question, sir. Sometimes they don't ask that they ask that the question is that who are India's strategic partners?
Okay,
but
so you ask
questions, they ask
fair enough. So the answer will be by and large the same.
Another question. Yes, sir.
The answer will be by and large the same answered by these two, because they are saying that it depends on your national interest and area of national interest, and the partners will be determined on the basis of that area. So if it is with regard to energy security, strategic partner will be different. If it is required to our other concerns, national security, it will be different. So, I mean, I thought that it was Kishan who answered that question. He did it very well. He identified our national interests, and on each national interest, he identified which are the countries. Was that Kishan who answered this question? Very good answer. So did Anushka. Both answers were very good, barring 1 and 2 points here, which I thought if you do, you will get another bonus marks. Right? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Siddharth Sota, you have a question?
Yes, sir. So my question is in relation to sports. So in general, there is an argument that the reason why cricket is performing well is because BCCI is a private body. So for other sports to perform well, should we make other sports bodies also private? And a related question to that, cricket is cricket growth hampering the growth of other sports in India?
So let's take these two questions separately. First question, I don't think board will ask that question because the question is factually incorrect. Most of the sports bodies are private, like BCCI. Every organization, in fact, anything associated with the Indian Olympic or International Olympic Association has to be private. There has to be election. That's the mandate they have given. So first question to that extent is irrelevant in the sense that almost all the sporting bodies in India are private entities. There may be some government officials on board, but they are all, whether it's Wrestling Federation, whether it's Badminton Federation, whether it's Table Tennis Federation, all are private bodies. All are registered separately, not a part of the government. But let's take the second question. The second question is cricket destroying other sports in India? Is that question okay? Siddharth?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any volunteers to answer this question? Those that have given cricket as a hobby will certainly ask this question. Any volunteers? Okay, we have, I want to see some new hand. Kishan seems to be, has perfected the art of answering. So I'm not asking him to answer. Any other physical hand here? Okay, Mridul, you can go ahead and answer this question.
Yes, sir. So cricket is by far the most famous and most followed game in India, and we have to see that we have investment made in the cricket, but cricket is performing well, but other sports are also performing well. Recent examples of the Olympics and the chess champion we have in the form of D. Kukesh, and also the shootings and the wrestling part. So all other sports are also performing well. We need to contribute more towards the other sport development also, like we have been doing in the Fit India movement, the Khelo India Youth University Games. So cricket has been growing due to its own merit, but other sports are also given the same amount of respect and also the media following and also the funding part. So there is actually no competition between the sports. Rather, we need to promote all the sports so that they can also have the same number of followings in the country.
Mridul, there is a bit of a disconnect between what you're saying. Okay. Disconnect first between the question asked and the answer given. And within the answer, there is inconsistency. Let me explain this for the benefit of all of you. What was the question? The question was, is cricket adversely impacting other sports? That is the question. Now, you went ahead and spoke so much about cricket, and then you said every other sport is also. So where is the answer? I haven't got the answer. So there is a disconnect between the question that is asked and the answer given. And thereafter, you started giving suggestions also, which was not asked in the question. In the end, other sports should also be promoted. Was it asked? The question was straightforward. So a straightforward answer has to come. Do you get my point, Mridul? And others have understood this? See, the board is also looking at whether you are answering the question or you are beating about the bush. Right? Any other volunteer to answer this question? Or, such similar questions will be asked. Leave aside cricket even otherwise. Yes. Okay, invisible man. You are pretty visible here, but I'll calling you invisible man in the absence of any name being there.
Sir, my name is Himanshu Mohan. Sir, okay. Answer is, sir, there are different games being played in India, and India recently started promoting all the sports, and cricket has a separate huge fan base, and its promotion has been done to a great extent. But cricket is not adversely impacting the other sports, as the followers of the sports are different. So one person can follow two sports also. So there is no direct correlation which can be found.
Okay, I can seek other answers, but let me suggest something to you.
Yes,
And all of you
yes.
listen to this, because this may not apply to cricket, otherwise.
Yes.
How about starting by saying, sir, cricket may be hogging all the limelight. So you're not denying what he's saying. It's a fact.
Yes.
But to say that it is denying other sports may not be fully correct.
Yes, sir.
Look at the words that I'm using. Cricket may appear to be hogging the entire limelight, because it is. But it may not be totally correct to say that it is adversely impacting all this. Then you come to the answers that Siddharth gave. Sir, you have examples of chess doing very well. You have example of badminton people doing very well. So there are other sports. Of course, it can be said that we need to promote other sports also. What am I saying here? I am not totally denying what has been said or asked, which is, it will be wrong to say that cricket is not the prominent sport. It is. It is impacting other sports, but it is not killing other sports, because other sports are doing well because of the cricket is hogging the limelight because of the support it has of the audiences, of the people, the way the team is doing. There are various reasons why cricket is doing well. So do you get this point? I want all of you to understand this point. If in such a situation where there is a predominance of a particular discipline, not only cricket, in anything, they will say, now, I don't know whether you're aware, only more engineers are, maximum number of engineers are getting into civil service. Let's take at this question, a similar question. Why is it that engineers are coming? As I keep saying, in your group discussions, you should come up with these. And if you get stuck in a question, then in a session like me, you come up with. I'll try and answer. You ask me, I've been asking all of you, please come up with the most sensitive question and let us see whether we can answer that. You have to come to a situation where you answer such questions. Siddharth, is that okay with you? Siddhant or Siddharth?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. We take the next question now. Next question is, it is three others. Swastik. Just a minute. I'm trying to see here which are the questions. Okay. Tushar Mahajan, please ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible, Tushar.
Sir, my question is, how do you see the recent election results post abrogation of Article 317 J&K? Do you think there has been change in heart and minds of people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially the Kashmir Valley? So since I belong to Jammu and Kashmir, this is something that I have been asked in almost every mock interview.
Okay, let's a very interesting question. Will somebody volunteer to answer this question? It's a very interesting question. I'm so glad, Kishan, you are brilliant. I mean, you're going to do well, but I'm not going to ask you to answer this question. You at least volunteer. Let me push it to someone who's not looking at me. Sanjay Meena. He's probably in a place as cold as I am, probably in Delhi. So he's hiding behind his hood or cap, whatever it is. Sanjay Meena, can you answer this question? I'm going to find out.
Yes, sir.
Everyone who's hiding here. Yeah. Yes, Sanjay.
Sir, the recent state assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir, it has seen a huge voter turnout. So the enthusiasm in voters has been quite high, and recently the visit of Honorable Prime Minister has also given the hope. He has said that the distance between the Delhi and Dil has been reduced. So, sir, in that sense, I think that there is a change in the heart of the people, but there is a possibility of further increasing this connection, so that the people of Jammu Kashmir feel trust in the system, and they can contribute towards the economic development that is envisaged for Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, anybody else? Can I see a physical hand? Is that Mridul? Did you raise your hand? You didn't. Okay, anybody else? It's a good question. Someone should. Yes, Rahul. Rahul.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
You are audible, Rahul.
Sir, was the question about did this election result in winning hearts and minds of people of Jammu and Kashmir?
Yes.
Sir, firstly, the current elections are in right direction. However, in order to win the hearts and minds of people of Jammu and Kashmir, elections alone will not suffice. There is a need for the government, both the government in the Jammu and Kashmir and the central government, to work towards the developmental activities of the people that bring development at the grassroots level. Secondly, there is a need to bring cultural integration between the people of mainland India and the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I believe both economic, social, and political dimensions have to come together to truly win the hearts and minds of people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Good, Rahul. Tushar, if you were to answer this question, how would you answer this question?
Sir, it's a reality that a divide has been seen when it comes to the election results in Jammu and Kashmir, especially when we see the areas of Jammu vis-a-vis the Kashmir Valley. The recent statement that by our Honorable Prime Minister that the statehood will be restored is along the same lines as also highlighted by the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who has also applauded the efforts of the central government. And sir, moreover, since Article 370 was something that was a sort of psychological barrier between the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of India, so it was something that was in the right direction done by the government of India. However, it would take time to integrate the complete Kashmiri people in line with the people of the rest of India. But along with that, elections are a positive result since it involved the participation of the majority of people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Good answers, but again, I think in terms of structuring the answer in the following manner. Since you are also aware, structuring for me is very, very important. Sir, whatever has happened in Jammu and Kashmir for the past so many decades, it would be difficult to expect an election to undo all that. But the signals are very positive. The number of people that participated, the development that is taking place. So I'm trying to bring about a balance. So you are saying lot seems to have happened, lot more needs to happen, and you can't expect miracles overnight through one step. Are you okay and comfortable with this approach? I keep mentioning these points because this is something which you have to practice a lot. How do you answer that question? And that I think is very, very critical for all of you. Please do that in your group discussions. I would suggest that after you've discussed the topic that you've taken for discussion, spend at least half an hour over taking up questions and asking each other questions and see how you answer. That practice would really help you. Is that fine with all of you? Would you do that?
Sir.
Yes.
So, going forward with this approach only, we can say that winning the hearts and minds is not a one-day process. It takes time and trust to build up. And regarding the elections, yes, we are taking positive steps to regain our trust with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. But the government is also trying its level best from other social security angles as well, like bringing schemes like uh, educational schemes or scaling, reskilling the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And even these security forces are going beyond security developments. Like they are also engaged in gaining the trust of the people by staying there for their own security. So we are trying to change the perception.
Rahul, I'm stopping you here. You are absolutely correct what you're saying. Again, try and restructure your dialogues a bit, your sentences a bit, slightly restructuring. You don't know for sure what is happening on the ground. You heard it, no? आपने खुद तो देखा नहीं है, देखा है मतलब महाजन जी ने देखा होगा. आप तो दिल्ली में रहते हैं, कहीं रहते हैं, आपने सुना है ना, तो उसको उसी हिसाब से कहिए ना. It is understood that the government is taking this spread. We've got to learn that the government is. You can't say for sure it's happening there. महाजन साहब कह सकते हैं, महाजन वहां रहते हैं, उन्होंने देखा, आपने तो नहीं देखा, आपने अखबार में पढ़ा और कह दिया दिस इज बीइंग डन, दिस इज बीइंग डन, दिस इज डन. आई अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज बीइंग डन, so this is what we hear is being done. This conveys some limitation of your. I'm not saying you should convey a limitation. What I'm saying is in your dialogues, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened, this should happen, this should happen, this should happen. The language has to change a bit. But what you say is correct. That's what
Sir,
ought to be said.
I want
Yeah.
to add something, sir,
Yeah.
because my brother is posted there as assistant commandant in CRPF. So, with that kind of experience which I had talking with my brother, so can we add that, bring that in our discussion or
No,
not?
if they push you, ask them. If they ask you, how do you so sure so much has happened?
Yes.
Suppose you're saying this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. Someone may ask you, how are you so sure it has happened? Have you seen it for yourself? Then you can say. Don't start by saying, sir, my brother is assistant commander there, I am witness. Don't start.
Sure, sir.
If they ask you, why are you so sure, or how are you so sure, then you give the reason. There's a good reason for you to say what you're saying, but not on your own, right? Okay, we take the next. Yes.
Sir, just
Tushar.
one question.
Yes.
Sir, since I very much belong to Jammu and Kashmir, so the answer which I would be giving, they must be expecting something different if they ask the same question from someone who does not belong to Jammu.
Correct.
Sir, since in this question, the main point was himself, do you think there has been? Like, sir, whenever I have been asked this question, I have replied, and they have asked me many counter questions, which I have been able to face resiliently. But at the same time, sir, since they had many times asked, what do you think?
So you
Sir,
say what do you think?
I cannot show my sort of emotional aspect into this because it can go in the negative connotation. So, sir, how should I address that situation at that very?
You tell me what you said. I'll tell you how to structure it. You tell me what you said.
Sir, when they asked, do you think Article 370 abrogation was correct? So, sir, in that I had started with by saying that the Honorable Supreme Court also upheld the validity of the constitutional validity of abrogation of Article 370, and thus, moreover, it aligned with the Government of India's decision to abrogate Article 370, and thus the debate for whether Article 370 should have been abrogated or not has already been resolved by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So
That's
in this
legal.
regard,
That's a legal resolution. So
yes,
what
sir.
they are asking is whether it served the desired purpose. That's the question. What will
Yes,
you answer?
so sir, my desired service, personally, I feel that it was the right decision. If you're
No,
asking me, like,
so just say this after having given the legal dimension of it that it's been
right, sir.
settled.
Right,
Sir,
sir.
it appears to be the right decision.
Okay.
It appears to me that it is the right decision. You can't say, sir, it was the right decision.
Right, sir.
भाई आप मैं बार you just all of you listen to the words that I'm using. You can't say it was the right decision because judgment is still out on the social economic front.
Right.
On the legal front, the judgment has been given. Social economic front, only time will tell. You can only say that the initial response or the impact that we've seen, it appears to be a right decision. You can't conclude about a decision so early. You can only conclude a legal discussion. But as far as the socio-economic impact is concerned, time will tell. But there would be some things that are happening which indicate that it appears to be a right decision. That's how you should work. Is that okay, Tushar, with you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Good. So though we are running out of time, but we can take one more question. Swastik, do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I want to go back to the question regarding strategic affairs, that how many countries or who all are India's strategic partners. Sir, I think India has officially designated a few countries as strategic partners. So can we directly say that India has officially designated these countries?
Are you sure?
As its?
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. I have read it, sir.
No, you read it wrongly. Whoever said there can't be an official statement of a strategic partner.
So I think we don't have allies, but we have strategic partners.
No, that's right. So strategic partners keep changing. So you can't define it somewhere, no?
Okay, sir.
It will be a wrong statement to say that India is already defined. No, they haven't. And if somebody has written about it, they must be their opinion because it's not written in strategic partners are not written in black and white. They can't be written. They should be written. It will be a diplomatic disaster if I say I'm going to be strategically in some official document defined that these only will be our strategic partner. No. So don't go into that area. It's a difficult area to navigate. Okay.
And sir, I have a follow-up if you allow.
Yeah, please.
Sir, if we give answer regarding strategic partners, so we tell what all are the prerequisites for some country to be India's strategic partner. Sir, how do we conclude this answer? I mean, what should be a direction of our answer?
So the ultimate would be that the bottom line of strategic partners is our national interest.
Okay.
That's the conclusion. The bottom line of determining who our strategic partner is our national interest. If it serves our national interest, then obviously we'll align with that partner. There's no other thing. Every nation bottom line is national interest. That's how they are partners. Right? Okay. Any
Thank
other
you so much,
question?
sir.
Tushar has another question. Yes, Tushar.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, regarding sir, just one of the previous questions that was being discussed about cricket. Sir, there have been statements like in some of the questions, like there have been statements with regard to this, like by Saina Nehwal and Chirag Shetty, who are badminton players. So they themselves had highlighted the fact that it feels sad that only cricket gets so much attention in India. So, sir, since they are sports person and moreover award-winning sports person, can we start by naming such people and their statements?
No.
We should avoid that.
Why should you name them? You start the way that I have suggested. Sir, it may appear that cricket has hogged the limelight. You are admitting that fact.
Right, sir.
खत्म हो गया कि साहब झगड़ा थोड़ी ना कर रहे हैं हमसे भाई आप बोर्ड से झगड़ा थोड़ी ना कर रहे हैं You are agreeing with them partly, but it may not be wrong to say, it would perhaps be wrong to say that cricket had demolished all other sports because other sports are also doing reasonably well, though not as well as cricket. खत्म हो गया किस्सा ही खत्म आपने बहस खत्म कर दी इससे आप ये कहेंगे नो सर क्रिकेट हैज हॉग्ड ऑन द लाइट फिर पूरा झगड़ा आप ये कहेंगे क्रिकेट हैज नॉट हॉग्ड ऑन द लाइट फिर झगड़ा आपको तो करना नहीं यू हैव टू हैव अ बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच नॉट एबल टू रेज माय हैंड हैव अ प्रॉब्लम हु इज दिस let me have somebody who's unable to raise their hand so if I can't see you let me see where who's unable to can you raise it? Yeah, there you are. Let me open the chat and see. Not able to. This is Prajwal Raju. Where are you, Prajwal Raju? He on a different screen. Prajwal Raju, I can see you. You can unmute yourself. Please unmute Prajwal Raju. He is on the second screen. Yes, Prajwal.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. If I were to be a DM or the board panel asks me if you are a DM and you have to persuade farmers to take back the protest, like as we have on the Shambhu border, that Jagdish Singh Dallewal is on fast unto death for 51 days. So if some order comes from the ministry, like how will I persuade the farmers to take back the protest, though the protests are peaceful? So and also the demands are not kind of feasible, like they are demanding for legalizing the MSP. So how to take a balanced approach? How do I ask farmers
Okay,
to take
so first of all, let me tell you, none of the board members sitting there would be in a position to solve this problem, which is a national problem. They're expecting a district magistrate to solve the problem. So I can't say it's a foolish question, but sometimes you may be asked, if you were, say, the district magistrate of Kashmir, how will you get Pak-occupied Kashmir into India? It's like saying that. It's a national problem, and you're asking a district magistrate to get Pak-occupied Kashmir into India. Okay, but let us take this absurd question. How do we answer? Okay, if I were the district magistrate of that particular area, I would try and speak to the concerned farmer, because opening communication channels is the first step towards finding a solution to a problem. We can't sit in our office or maintain a distance and find a solution to a problem. So I'd like to have a conversation with him somehow, try and understand his problem and trying to explain the government's standpoint on such issues. That's the best you can do. Beyond it, you can't do anything. So you say what you can. Right? So, my friends, you will find that you may be asked questions to which there are no final answers, but you still asked. Or there are no final solutions to the problem. So how do you answer that? By doing what you can, you mention that. And thereafter say, would you like to say something else? Sir, I can't think of anything else. Khatam. Because they also can't think. If a district magistrate could solve the farmer problem here, it would have been solved by now, no? It's a national problem. How can a district magistrate solve a national problem? Something with the farmer wants to engage with the agriculture minister or the prime minister. How can a district magistrate solve it? But you can't say that. You say that I'll try and have a talk with them to understand their problem, convey the problem of these. They will then say it may still not be solved, sir. Then probably it has to be taken at a higher level. You're not supposed to provide solutions to the problem. I mean, they can ask you, how do you solve the money? Can a district magistrate in a district solve the Manipur problem? Let's put it this way. I mean, how are you expecting a district magistrate to? But nonetheless, you have to answer. So your answer would be, I will try and establish communication channels with the warring factions, have a discussion with them, understand their problems, tell them the government stand. It may still not be solved. You get the point? Right. Now, there are a few hands here, but we have woefully run out of time. I assure you I'll be back again because I enjoy talking to you all. I like some of the answers that came today, especially from Kishan, from Anoshka. Very good answers. And I see the improvement. I mean, Kishan, I see a definite improvement. Carry on this way and you do very well. So is Anoshka. Both of you and others also will do very well. I forget the names of others. So there is a desperate hand plus hand by the invisible man. So how can I ignore him? Yes, invisible man. He has an electronic hand as well as a physical hand going up. So I couldn't ignore him. Yes.
Yes. Sir, I want to ask one question. The question is, do you think judiciary was anyway compromised in Ayodhya verdict as 3 out of 5 judges got post-retirement employment under the government?
Okay, what I would suggest, this is a very interesting question. I wanted some of you to raise this question on judiciary. How do we discuss that? It can't be done in 5 minutes. Okay. This is an important issue, the role of judiciary. And I assure you in the next session, keep this question, invisible man, and yes, we will discuss this. Right?
Sure, sure.
I will soon announce this date and we will start with this discussion. Please remind me when we start this. We'll have a good discussion on the role of judiciary and a possible answer to any question on judiciary. I'll take up all those questions because I see some of the transcripts. Some of the questions are on judiciary. You should have a balanced view. I'll tell you what that balanced view could be. Is that okay with all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right then. Thank you very much. Great interacting with all of you. And keep reading, keep speaking, keep having these group discussions. And I shall be available to any one of you who wants to have a one-on chat. But for heaven's sake, don't ask me to discuss your entire DAF. I don't have time to do that. My suggestion to all of you is discuss your entire DAF and the questions thereon in the group. You run into 1 or 2, 3 questions problem, then you talk to me. It would be difficult for me physically to have a half an hour long chat with you. Difficult. I can at best give 10 to 12 minutes to all of you on phone or physical interaction one-on-one. Rest, I'm sure you'll be able to sort it out amongst yourself, but you still very strongly believe that you want to discuss a particular issue, you're most welcome. You can message me. As I said, I have had online chat with more than 40 of you, offline chat with more than 60, around 50, 60 of you. So it's going on fine. You can still reach out to me. You're most welcome. God bless you. Take care. Keep smiling. Enjoy yourself. Don't treat it as a burden. And I'm so glad there were some wonderful answers today. I'm sure most of you will do well. God bless you.